Okay, let's start with question 1 in the second assignment. Okay, so question 1, you're constructing a priority matrix. Let's go through all the items. Meeting today to discuss network upgrades. So long-term importance, we're a technology company. So having the most recent network or technology is important. 1 for long-term importance. Urgency, well, it is today. So again, we get a 1, we add the 2 together, and we end up with a priority of A. Let's go on to the B item, or let's go on to B. CC Mail needs to be migrated to Microsoft Exchange, and write out a plan and do some research. So again, for long-term importance, it's this impacts communication, so it does have long-term importance for our company. We might get to it within a week, 2 weeks, so I'm going to give it a 2 for urgency. Its weight is 3. Just add the 2 together, and you can see that is a priority B. The next one is the software audit. Gets done twice a year. This is how we keep track of all the installed software and determine if we need to buy software licenses. There's no exact time when this needs to be done. So in terms of long-term importance, it's not a 1. Our company isn't about doing software audits. It's not a 2. It's a 3. It has no long-term importance for our company. In terms of urgency, well, we don't have to get to it today or even next week. We can put it off. So we end up with a weight of 6, and that gives us our lowest priority E. Now, this can change. Imagine the vice president invites you into his office and tells you that our company might be visited by Microsoft, and Microsoft wants to ensure that all our software is properly licensed. Well, the long-term importance might jump from a 3 to a 1, and urgency might jump from a 3 to a 1 or 2. So keep in mind, this isn't a static list. These priorities do change based on the circumstances. D, Mary Lou's favorite screensaver, helping her with that. Well, that has no long-term importance for our company. It's definitely not urgent. So again, we have a weight of 6, and we have a priority of E. Now again, we don't just follow this dumbly. We have to think here. Things can change. What if she starts complaining that IT is ignoring her, or it starts creating conflict between departments? Then we will, of course, change the priority, the long-term importance, because employees cooperating is important, and we will bump up the urgency. But as it stands right now, this is a low priority item. Let's go on to the next one. A client called and you have to return his call. Well, this definitely has long-term importance, anything having to do with a client, and you definitely are going to get back to this today. So the priority here is A. With F, let's move on to F now. The inventory room is a mess. Organize it so that everything can be easily found. Okay, so, well, it doesn't really have any long-term importance, but at the same time, I wouldn't give it a 3 either. It has some long-term importance because if we're very slow finding hardware and software that people need to use and install, it's going to slow the whole company down and will impact us in the long term. So we do give this item a 2. In terms of urgency, well, it's not a 1, it's not a 2. I'll give this, yeah, it's probably a 2. So we have a weight of 4, and we can see with our priority here, this is a C. Let's go on now to the next one. Currently, there is no record of existing hardware in the company. You're given a roll of inventory stickers, and you have to label every piece of computer hardware in the company and maintain a database. Well, let's take a look. Long-term importance, very little or none at all. I'll let you decide if that's a 2 or a 3. Urgency, well, I know from experience that I'm not going to get to this item anytime soon unless somebody starts complaining or demanding. Maybe the accounting department is renewing our insurance policy and they need that information. But as it stands now, it's a 3 for long-term importance and a 3 for urgency. Gives us a weight of 6. This is a low priority item, or an E. Let's go on to the next one. We now have to do some research on handhelds or smartphones for senior managers and then make a proposal. Okay, so I would say this does impact the future of our company, and it is somewhat urgent. However, it might wait a week maximum. So we'll put it a 2. If it's something that's due right away, we would make that a 1. So with our weight, we have a 3. This is a B item. It's fairly important, but not the most important thing on our list today. Let's continue. Order 3 high-end laptops. We can assume that this is for our employees to do their job, so it has long-term importance. It is urgent. Otherwise, they won't have the tools they need to do their job. We give this a weight of 2. This is an A priority. David's sound card on his laptop is not working. He needs to do demos for a client. So again, anything with having to do with a client has long-term importance. It's probably urgent. We'll give this a weight of 2 and a priority of an A. So let me make sure I did this correct. HIJKLMNOP. So we're on to K now. Let's take a look at K. Mrs. Aziz's sound card is not working. She is a recent immigrant from Iraq. Okay, and she wants to listen to a radio station that broadcasts from her country. So in terms of long-term importance, that's not really what our company is about. So I will give that a 3. In terms of urgency, again, it is a 3. So this is a low priority item, or an E. Now, you have to decide here, if this is impacting her job and she's not focusing on what she has to do because she's trying to get this information, you might consider bumping this up in terms of long-term importance or urgency to a 2 or even higher. So again, this is not a dumb machine. You have to assess what the situation is and correctly prioritize. Let's go on to L. Jeff has a problem with his sound card, and he just needs it to listen to music. So we can assume here this is another low priority item. I will put 3 for long-term importance for our company, but I might want to get to it within a couple of weeks. So I'll give it a 2 for urgency. We have a 5 here for weight, and that gives us a D. Let's continue now to M. The company's internet connection is down. Wow. Well, I can tell you right now, this definitely affects the future of our company. This is very urgent. We're going to work on it now. So that's long-term importance and urgency. Gives us a weight of 2 and a priority of A. A programmer starts on Monday. That's a week from today. And we need to get a computer ready for him. Well, this does have long-term importance for the company because if he doesn't have the tools that he needs to do his job, that's going to harm the company in the long term. But in terms of urgency, if we can leave it for a week or so, we'll give it a 2. That gives us a weight of 3, and now we have a priority of B. I hope I haven't made any mistakes here. If I have, please email me and let me know. We're on to O. So Al's computer is not working. He needs a particular tool, software tool for doing his job, but he's not going to use it for 2 months. That's interesting. This definitely has long-term importance because it affects a person's ability to do their job. But at the same time, we're not going to get to it for 2 months. So for urgency, we give it a 3. So we can see here our weight is 4, and a 4 gives us a priority C. So this is a C item. And then we go on to Q. So there's a software update, and 2 clients need our help installing it. Okay, so anything having to do with a client affects the future of our company. No clients, no future, no company. And with clients, the standard is to get back to them within 24 hours maximum. In this case, we'll probably get back within an hour. So again, a 1. This is a weight of 2. This is another A item here. And then we have one last thing here. The laser printer in the quality assurance department is not working, and 4 people are depending on it. Okay, so in terms of long-term importance, 1 for urgency, 1 for weight, 2. Okay, so we have a number of A items. I see 1, 2, 3. We have at least 6 or 7 A items, and it might not be obvious which is the most important A item, but if you go through it, hopefully you will recognize that M is by far your most important A item. This is your A1. So the company internet connection is down. Fix it immediately. So we'll go to M. We see that is your most important A. That becomes A1. Then determine your second most important A, whatever it happens to be, make that A2. You don't have to do the same thing with the B's and C's. Just list your A's in terms of importance from A1, A2, and so on. But you don't have to do it with the rest of the B's and C's.